Now it's time for us to get into the papers this morning. And joining me on the set, red and yellow, black and white. Okay, so it's red and yellow, black and white. Is that how it goes?
I don't know what you're trying to do. You know, I don't know what's going on.
I did done it. Abiyago, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm super. Thank you.
Good morning.
Yeah, this morning I had a bit of drama.
What kind of drama?
So I went to my car this morning, and then I had the keys with me, right? So opened the car, and then I needed to pick something from the car. So I dropped the keys to pick up the item from the car to go and drop inside. Only forgetting that as I was leaving the car, the keys were in the car.
So you locked the keys
I locked the keys in the car.
No, I mean, but this, you know, the diagnosis is really simple, right? It's just, I mean,
listen, ladies and gentlemen, forget about the diagnosis. Let's get into the papers this morning. Because as for the diagnosis, it's only one thing you're going to see. I'm not going to mind you on that one. All right. What do we have on the Daily Graphic?
So we have the Daily Graphic here, and the big one here, MPP triggers Parliament's recall. And of course, talking about drama, there's been a lot of drama in the Parliament of Ghana this week. And yes, yesterday, you know, what are they, majority, minority, or, you know, what's going on? You know?
And the MPP caucus.
The MPP caucus. You know, they try to make sure that the Synod is overturned.
It's overturned, yeah.
And so there's a lot of drama there yesterday as well. Then we have here this one, $450 million manganese refinery project begins in November.
Okay.
And there's a picture of Samuel Jinapor, the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, exchanging pleasantries with the Managing Director of GMC. Interesting times.
Yeah.
Ahead of new academic year, traders switch to educational materials. So you can read on page 13 of the Daily Graphic. And it's very interesting. You know, we have times and seasons in every economy around the world. I think Ghana is no different.
Yeah.
So, you know, people will be going back to school, all that. It's an interesting time. So traders who would usually sell cloth or other things. School children or students are going back to school. So let's bring in some educational material and see if we can cash out. Add herbal medicines to NHIS. And this is GAFTRAM to the government.
Yes. The herbal medicine.
The herbal medicine debate.
Yes.
And then 13 presidential candidates on ballot unnecessary, says Professor Prempe. And that's on page 38 of the Daily Graphic.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the conversations they had yesterday. We took that live right here on ChannelOne TV.
Yes.
And they're talking about the place of citizenship and what it is, how our democracy has fared over the last.
So this was a memorial lecture.
Yes, a memorial lecture. Anthony Akoto Ampau's.
Sheshe.
Sheshe.
Yes.
A year after his passing.
Unfortunately, we lost last year. Brilliant legal luminary by all standards. And I'm happy that these are some of the things that we're doing. We lose, unfortunately, people like this, thought leaders, people who've been very central to shaping certain aspects of our society. We go back and we have conversations and then things that they were passionate about, things that they were advocating for. I think it's very, it's a step in the right direction.
It's a way to memorialize their memories, you know, to make sure that younger people who didn't meet them, who didn't know them, also get to hear of them and all of that as well. The Ghanaian Times says, 45 more days for election 2024. Decision of 4 MPs futuristic, Attorney General speaking. President to cut sod for construction of manganese refinery as government rolls out value addition drive, Lands Minister is announcing. And we have brouhaha in Parliament. Majority caucus gathers 83 signatures to initiate a recall of the House. So interesting times. Interesting times. That's what we have for the Ghanaian Times. Okay.
Very interesting times.
All right.
We have the Chronicle here. Winning 2024 and beyond, MPP blows cover of NDC secret plans. And look, it's election season. So a lot of interesting things will pop up. But you can read more about that story on pages 3 and 12 of the Chronicle. Adopt tech-driven cost management approaches, Kojo Nkrumah urges surveyors. And I think that's an interesting call. again, this story, government to break ground for $450 million US manganese plant in the western region. And it's the Chronicle, so we have to take a look at the scripture reading for it.
I know, right? Yeah.
Ephesians 5:11.
Okay.
And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them. You know, Chronicle and the shade, man.
Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness.
Yes, but rather expose them.
Aish. Okay, so we have the Daily Guide, and it says here on the front page of the Daily Guide, Majority Caucus triggers Parliament recall. Pastors, chiefs defend Baumia. We have 2024 elections. MPP exposes NDC plot. Okay. Napo grabs 3 awards in the U.S. and contesting future elections doesn't result in vacant seat. This is coming from Attorney General, Minister of Justice. And Next Gen Infraco CEO found. This is coming from the police. Now, that's I was a bit troubled by that yesterday.
A very harrowing story.
Yeah.
And it's a story that we carried as well. We've got it on citynewsroom.com. We've got it on ChannelOne News.com as well. It's, you know, very troubling. I mean, the police are saying that they are continuing with investigations. And so we're waiting to see exactly what the issue has been there. But if this person was kidnapped, and of course Next Gen, you know, I remember a few months ago there was talk about the NCA, you know, overseeing a coalition or consortium of sorts so that, you know, we can beef up our telecommunication sector. There's a whole brouhaha there, I think somewhere in June or so. And Next Gen is one of the big players in there. And so if this person was really kidnapped and there's something untoward happening, we need to be worried because that's not something that we should condone.
We should be tolerating in this country at all.
We shouldn't take it lightly. So let's wait and see what the police discovers. And then, but I really hope it's not as gruesome as it sounds. You know.
Well, you can grab the Daily Guide to apprise yourself of those stories. Yes.
Absolutely. We have the Anchor newspaper. MPP MPs trigger emergency recall of Parliament, raise concern for urgent government business. So that story still making the rounds here as well. And again, missing CEO of 5G provider Next Gen found. Momo accounts surpass 65 million. Transactions exceed 1.9 trillion Ghana cedis.
Okay.
That's amazing, you know. But I wonder what that means. What that translates to for the economy.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see how those stats break down. And then there's an interesting one here. Bench warrants for Legon students accused of killing boyfriend.
And
so that one.
Well, she's pleaded not guilty, but honestly, I think that this is becoming one too many. You know, where crimes of passion, you know, and related this type of relationship things, and boyfriend dies, girlfriend's burnt, boyfriend has acid poured on him, these kind of things. I don't know what we can do to stem the tide, but we do need to do something. We can't, you know,
well, I
just
don't know
leave
either,
space.
but I maintain that, and you termed it very rightly, the crimes of passion. All over the world, and I'm a very big ID fan, right? So I'm always looking at investigative discovery. And a lot of those things are crimes of passion, similar situations. And all over the world, it is more often than not established that people who do these things have reached a certain level in mental instability. So, again, this mental health thing, we need to take it seriously. I mean, I see that we're doing things, certain things are being put on the on our NHIS card. You know, there was a circular release the other day by the Supreme Court saying that we are no longer as Ghana.
Yes, I saw that.
Classifying suicide.
We have decriminalized it fully.
We've decriminalized it. So it's no longer a crime if somebody attempts suicide. And then the person will be given mental care, mental health care, provided you can prove that that is actually what it is. You know. And of course, some people say, "Oh, but why would you attempt suicide?" But they're saying that, well, some people have attempted to kill themselves so that they can get insurance money for their families, all sorts of things, you know, but there's that. But most of the time when you see situations like that, it's not normal.
No, it's not.
And a lot of our young people in our universities are dealing with massive depression, all sorts of mental health issues, and it's something that we're not paying attention to. So we need to go back to the schools, have the counseling centers. You know, it's not something we should take lightly, because like you said, it's happening way too often. Where is a 23, 24-year-old going to get acid to go and pour on their girlfriend or their boyfriend because they cheated on them, or they said they don't want to be in a relationship anymore? All these things, it's not normal, and it's something that we really need to take a look at.
Absolutely. Well, let's take it to the Daybreak. The Daybreak newspaper goes to that story of the manganese refinery. It says it's ready in November. It's a $450 million refinery. Abuja is uprising as of that. Chief Justice to judges: attempted suicide, as you mentioned, no longer a crime. Okay, so then judges will know how to handle that well when it comes up before them. Majority Caucus demands urgent recall of Parliament. We have Baumia taunts Mahama with 33 top policies. Okay, and coming up in the Daybreak, In-Path Technologies Ghana and the huge revenue leakages to the state. Details in the next edition of the Daybreak. All right.
And there's a New Republic here. It's my last paper. Bagbin, one-man commando. I mean, what a headline. Bagbin, one-man commando, Dribbles Chief Justice, Jubilee House, and shut down Parliament as Alexander Fenio-Markin weeps on the sidelines. I mean, what a headline. New Republic.
One-man commando, Dribbles Chief Justice, Jubilee House, and then shuts down Parliament.
And then there are points of ellipsis. As Alexander Fenio-Markin weeps on the sidelines.
Wow, wow.
You know, it sounds like flash fiction.
I know, right?
And then there's something here too: dirty betrayal. These headlines, man.
I know, right? Secret
bid exposes government plans to sell CBG.
Okay.
So this is what the New Republic is saying. This is it from my papers, really.
Okay. Okay.
You got citynewsroom.com?
Yes.
Okay.
So I have both citynewsroom.com and ChannelOneNews.com. Ghana lost over 4.9 billion Ghana cedis to financial irregularities. This is ChannelOneNews.com in 2023. We have a race for Commonwealth Secretary General. History beckons for Ghana's Shirley Ayoko Botre.
Yes, and that has been going on for a couple of months.
Yes.
You know, I belong to the bigger Commonwealth pool.
Okay.
I don't know how I got there, but somehow I did. So the list was put out a few months ago, and we've been asked to vote and, you know, push for the nominees that we think. You know, so at least Ghanaians and Ghanaian sympathizers are pushing and rooting for her.
That's good.
It's an interesting one.
Now, Ada DCE bans food and drinks at social gatherings. Wow. Ada DCE bans food and drinks at social gatherings.
But why?
Why? So what's going to happen to our favorite funeral
jollof?
Funeral jollof.
No.
Let me read the story.
Why?
Let me delve into it, okay? So Adan West District Assembly has imposed a ban on the sharing of food and drinks at social events in a bid to curb the spread of cholera in the area.
I suspected so. I suspected it would either have something to do with cholera or
let me give you the basis. So he said that the decision comes after over 200 people were admitted to various health facilities in the district due to a cholera outbreak. According to the district chief executive, Samson Tete, social gatherings have been identified as the primary source of cholera transmission, prompting the assembly to enforce a ban as a preventative measure. We have also decided that the funerals within our district should go by the 1 meter distance system where you don't come close to each other. Also, that's what we applied during COVID.
Right.
Also at funerals, they are not supposed to share food and drinks. We are also using hand sanitizers and Veronica buckets at all churches and funerals, the district chief executive for Adan West said. Kudos to him for decisive action.
No, absolutely.
I mean, this is good leadership.
If you identify
this
a
is
problem
good leadership. Yeah.
in your community,
Yeah.
the jurisdiction that you have the mandate to protect and to make sure is in order, then yes, by all means.
Absolutely.
And cholera, it's something that we are underestimating, but it's creeping back into the system.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It's creeping back into the system.
Yes, it
And
is.
don't forget, rains have come. And when the rains come, there are certain diseases that come with them. Not because the rain is
the rain hasn't
raining
done
down
anything. It's because it's exposing our dirtiness.
Precisely so.
The fact that we don't like to wash our hands.
Precisely
We're just dirty naturally.
Precisely.
And the rains come to expose all of that.
But then, funeral catering.
Yeah.
Our funerals tend to be very large gatherings. And culturally, you need to see your beloved one
off
well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Show the people that
very
you did a good job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very well.
Yeah.
So sometimes you may not have the financial muscle, the big budget to go to someone who, has all the proper FDA, certification, all those fancy things,
So call some
And so, it's or some community funeral cook. And the truth of the matter is that if they're not paying attention to certain things, you will have some of these things popping up. So beyond the communicable contraction of the disease, because that's why I'm talking about social distancing.
Yes.
I can get it from you, all that. There's also what kind of water was used to prepare the food. What kind of water was used to wash the vegetables. What kind of water was used to clean the fish. All those little things.
Even when you get to, so you see, you look at the water that ends up going through some form of heating, right? So through the cooking. But then you have things like the wache bowls, or the wache leaves, right? Then they'll take some, the dirty napkin, or the rag, and they'll use to clean the thing and say, then,
but even
dangerous,
touching the disposable spoons and the paper napkins that are packaged with it. You take these things for granted. So
and you see, they'll open the packet of disposable spoons, right? And then they use their fingers to touch the head of the spoon to pull it out. Instead of going the reverse side. They use it to pull it out with their fingers. You don't know that person's hands are as dirty as whatever, with a million germs. You've transferred it directly, and you're about to scoop food and eat.
No, but I mean, it's a great call.
Yeah.
Kudos to the
Yes, kudos to the DCE. Yeah, Samson Tete. All right, let's just quickly look at the citynewsroom.com's a few headlines there. NCCE warns of rising voter willingness to engage in election violence. It's a very serious warning that we need to pay attention to. Okay?
That's scary.
NCC warns of rising voter willingness to engage in election violence. Okay, let me give you a couple more. Global battle against inflation almost won, but risks still remain. This is coming from the IMF. We are hoping for a positive Supreme Court ruling on vacant seats. This is coming from the majority. And I'll not step down as independent candidate. And this is a Suhum MP speaking there. Finally, VRA senior staff demand total withdrawal of controversial merger bill. And so that's what we have there. There's the story on the Infraco.
It's a morning bright.
Yeah, I know, right? A lot of interesting stories. The Infraco, the next gen Infraco CEO. Let me just quickly bring us that story because the police give us an update. And I want to do that here. So the story here says, in a significant development, the Ghana Police Service has successfully located Mr. Tony Menta, the chief CEO of Next Gen Infraco, following reports of his abduction by unidentified individuals from the National Communications Authority premises in Accra. And the police have confirmed this positive news in a brief statement stating that more details will be shared shortly. They had previously informed the public that investigations were underway to ascertain the circumstances surrounding Mr. Minta's alleged abduction and assured citizens that updates will be communicated as soon as new information became available. Now, it goes on to say, in a statement, the management of Next Gen Infraco announced, "We are pleased to inform the public that Mr. Minta has been located and is safe. We also want to extend our appreciation to the general public for their support and cooperation at this time. Your vigilance and assistance were invaluable." Okay, and once again, thank you to the authorities and the public for your continued efforts. So that's what it is, and then it ends with the story ends there with the police statement.
Yeah. I mean, we are waiting for the police to give us further details.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're still investigating a few things. So let's sit tight.
Yeah.
And see what it is. But
yeah.
like we said earlier, really hope it's nothing as
dire as
as disturbing.
Yes. Yeah.
Nothing as disturbing as the story has presented itself to be so far.
Yeah. Anyway, well, it's thank you very much for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
We're looking forward to a great day with great outcomes. Parliament has been, well, the Speaker has been, how do you say it? So
the one-man commando.
Yeah, the one-man commando. So how do we say it? Has it been invoked? Has it been requested? For the recall of Parliament. So you needed 15% of all MPs to sign. So they've acquired 83 signatures according to the Ghanaian Times, and so I think it's supposed to be 7 days after the Speaker receives that request for Parliament to resume sitting. So we're looking forward to all of that. Yeah.
It's a nice movie going on in Parliament.
I know. Oh, Lord. Yeah. Abby, thank you very much for coming through.
Thank you for having me,
Wonderful. David.